In this example, we are asked to add and subtract the polynomials. Okay, so here we have to add this polynomial. So this is the first polynomial and this is the second polynomials. It's clear that we are adding two polynomials, right? What tells you that we are adding these two polynomials? The plus. Okay, now let me go to the example 4. So we have this polynomial 3x plus 2 and the second polynomial is negative 2x minus 3. Now in this case, are we adding or what do we need to do here? We need to multiply. Okay, so make sure to check the sign between the polynomials. Okay, and in the part B, for example 2, so this is our first polynomial, this is our second polynomial, and in between these two polynomials there is a difference, so we have to find the difference of these two polynomial. Okay, in our last class we talked about the degree of polynomial, so let's make just a revision of that before we simplify here. For this polynomial, how many terms we have for this polynomial? 4. So x cube, negative x square, positive 5x, negative 2. So these are the 4 different terms. Okay, for each term it has a degree, right? So what is the degree of this first term? 3. What is the degree of this second term? 2. What is the degree of this third term? 1. And what is the degree of this constant? 0. And there is also a coefficient. So what is the coefficient for this first term? Coefficient is the number that you see in front of the variable. Okay, it's 1. So what is the coefficient for this term? Minus 1. What is the coefficient for this one? 5, and this is a constant. Okay, all right, now let's go ahead and add these two polynomials. So here we can just rewrite this first polynomial without parentheses. So let me write down that we have 3x cubed plus 2x square minus 5x plus 7. Okay, now here we have positive, so we have to distribute this positive sign for each term. Okay, it means you multiply positive sign and each term. So positive time positive x cube, that is positive x cube, positive time negative x square, that is negative x square, positive time positive 5x, that is positive 5x, positive times negative 2, negative 2. Okay, now the next, what kind of terms we can add? The like terms, right? So we need to find the terms with the same degree. So the terms with the same degree are like terms. This term has a degree 3, this term has a degree 3, so we can add these two terms. So 3x cube plus x cube, that is 4x cube. Now we have 2x square with a degree 2 and we have negative x square with a degree 2. So these two are like terms. So what is positive 2x square minus x square? That is positive x square, right? The next like terms, we have negative 5x and positive 5x. These two are like terms. And what is negative 5x plus 5x? 0, right? So it cancel out, so that's 0. Next we have a constant, so positive 7 and minus 2, these two are like terms. 7 minus 2, that is 5, positive 5. So this is our final answer. In the similar way, let's find the difference. Okay, now in part B we have to find the difference of this polynomial and this polynomial. So at first let's rewrite without parentheses. So we have s to the power 4 plus 3 over 4s square. Now here, as we distributed positive, you have to distribute negative. Okay, for each term in this polynomial. So negative time positive s to the power 4 is negative s to the power 4. Negative times negative s square is positive s square. So if you are adding polynomial, sign does not change. Okay, but if you are finding the difference of polynomial, make sure to flip the sign of the term with a negative in front. Okay, so here, so we had s to the power 4 minus s square. Here we have negative s to the power 4 positive s square. So make sure to distribute this negative. Okay, do not forget to distribute negative. Now we look for like term. So s to the power 4 and s to the power 4 are like terms. S is s to the power 4 minus s to the power 4, that is 0. The next we have 3/4 s square and plus s square. These two are like terms. Now what is the sum? So what is this? 3/4 s square plus s square. So it's a fraction, right? So in order to add a fraction, we need to have a common denominator. Okay, so here 4 is the denominator. Now how can we make the denominator of s square equals to 4? So we have 1. In order to make it 4, what do? We multiply by 4 in the numerator and denominator. Okay, and this is 3s square divided by 4 plus we multiply numerator 4 times s square, 4s square, 4 times 1 is 4. Now we have a common denominator. Okay, once you have a common denominator, you can add numerator. So 3s square plus 4s square is 7s square divided by 4. So this is the difference of these two polynomials. So if you have a fraction and if you are adding or subtracting fraction, make sure to have a common denominator. Okay, once you have a common denominator, then you can add numerator, you can find the difference of numerator. But in order to multiply fraction, do we need to have a common denominator? We don't need to have. Okay, like for example, if we are multiplying 2/3 times 4/5, you don't need to worry about the common denominator. Whenever you are multiplying, you multiply numerator together. So 2 times 4, 8, and denominator together. 3 times 5, 15. But if you want to find the difference here or sum, you must have your denominator common. You must have same denominator. You have to make it if it's not given to you. Okay. Okay, now next we have to multiply the monomials here. So we have negative 2x square, one monomial, 4x to the power 7, that is the next monomial. And when we multiply monomials, we multiply the coefficient first. So coefficient is negative 2 and 4. So negative 2 times 4, that is negative 8, right? Now the next we have to multiply x square and x to the power 7. Now what is x square times x to the power 7? So here, so let me write on that. We have x square times x to the power 7. So base is same. So we have a base x, and we are multiplying. And when you multiply exponent term with the same base, we add the exponent. So this is x to the power 2 plus 7. And this is negative 8x to the power 9. So if you are multiplying the exponents with the same base, you are adding exponent. If you are dividing, you find the difference. Any question up to here? Okay, now next example, we are asked to multiply the binomials. Okay. And in order to multiply binomial, we can use a FOIL method. Okay, have you heard FOIL? Okay, so let me take a plus b and a minus b. Okay, so for example, what kind of polynomial is this? Is it a monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Binomial, because we have two terms. We have a and we have a b, two terms. In the similar way, we have a minus b. This is also binomial, okay, because we have our two terms. We have a first term, second term is b. Okay, and when you are multiplying binomial by a binomial, we can use a FOIL method. Okay, so this FOIL is used only for multiplying binomial and binomial. Okay, now what it is? So according to this method, the FOIL, so at first we multiply first term of each polynomial. So a is the first term and a is the first term. So you multiply first term. So this is f. Okay. So a times a is a square. You multiply first term. Now the next we multiply outside terms. Okay, so here a is the outside, b is the outside. Okay, so you multiply positive a and negative b. So positive a times negative b is negative ab. Okay, you multiply outside term, so this is outside term. Now we look for I is the inside term, so we multiply inside term. So positive b and positive a, so this is the inside term, and positive b times positive a is positive ab, and at last we multiply last terms, and our last terms are positive b and negative b. So this is our last term, and positive b times negative b is negative b square. You multiply first term, okay, you multiply outside term, multiply inside term, and multiply last terms. Now we look for the like terms. We have a square, so negative av and positive ab, these two are like terms. One is positive, other is negative, so it cancel out, and negative b square. So this is the final answer. Okay, so whenever you can use a different other method as well, but whenever we are multiplying binomial and binomial, we use FOIL. Now using similar method, let's multiply this one. So here we have 3x plus 2, this is our binomial, and we have negative 2x negative 3, this is also binomial, and in between these two binomial we have a product here, so we are multiplying. So let's use FOIL, and the very first thing we do is we multiply first terms. So what are first term? Positive 3x and negative 2x. So what is positive 3x times negative 2x? What is positive 3x times what is positive 3x times negative 2x? So you multiply the coefficient. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. X times x is x square. So we have negative 6x square. Now let's multiply outside terms. So what are outside term here? Positive 3x and negative 3. So these two are outside terms. And what is positive 3x times negative 3? Positive 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. Okay, so we have positive 3x times negative 3. So you multiply the number first. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and x as it is. So that is negative 9x. Now the next we multiply inside terms, and our inside term is like a positive 2 and negative 2x. And what is positive 2 times negative 2x? Negative. So positive 2 times negative 2, that is negative 4, and x as it is negative 4x. And the last we multiply the last term, which is positive 2 times negative 3, and that is negative 6. Now we look for the like terms. So we don't have like term for this first, so we write down as it is. We have a negative 9x, negative 4x like terms. And what is that? Negative 9x, negative 4x, that is negative 13x minus 6. And this is our final answer. Okay, so this is how we can multiply the binomial using a FOIL. Okay, any question? Okay. Now, in the similar way, so we have a plus b. This is a binomial, and a plus b, this is also binomial, and we can rewrite this a plus b times a plus b as a plus b square, right? Do you all agree? A plus b square is same as a plus b times a plus b. And if once we multiply this binomial by a binomial, we get a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so when you multiply this binomial by this binomial, this is what we get. Now it helps us to find the square of a binomial. Okay, so here, so this is, we have a binomial and we have a square, so this is a square of a binomial, And if you have a square of a binomial, okay, so a square of a binomial is equals to, so we have a plus b square, so this is a square of a binomial, and this is equals to square sum of square of each term, so a square plus the square of b plus b square, okay, plus 2 times these terms, 2 times ab. Okay, without using FOIL, we can use this rule to find the square of binomial. For example, let's say we are asked to find square of x plus 2. Okay, so here we have a square of a binomial. Okay, without using FOIL, you can find the square of binomial, and this is, if you have a square of a binomial, this is equals to sum of square of each term. So we have x, so write down the x square plus square of 2, which is 4, plus 2 times x and 2. So 2 times x times 2, that is 4x. So this is the square of x plus 2. But if you are if it takes time for you, you can always use a FOIL. Okay, if you are not comfortable with this one, you can write x plus 2 square as a x plus 2 times x plus 2 times x plus 2, and you can use the FOIL method. Okay, but if you have this idea, it really helps us when we have the factorization. Okay, it really helps us. Okay, so this is about multiplying the polynomials. Okay, now, so can you find okay, I want you to try a minus b square. Can you just find a minus b times a minus b using a FOIL method? Find the product of a minus b and a minus b. So what will be a minus b times a minus b? Use FOIL method, okay? So at first multiply the first term, multiply the outside term, multiply the inside term, and multiply the last term. What is the first term here? What are the first terms? A and a. These two are first term, right? So a times a is a square. Then we multiply outside terms, and outside terms are positive a and negative b. Positive a times negative b is negative ab. Now we multiply inside terms. So inside term is negative b and positive a. Negative b times positive a is negative ab, and at last we multiply last terms, so that is a times, sorry, not the, so last terms is negative b times negative b, and that is positive b square. So here we have these two as a like terms, so this is a square negative av negative ab. What is that? Negative 2ab plus b square. Okay, so if you have a square of a binomial, then we have a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so this is how we can find the product of polynomial. Okay, do you have any question? Okay.